We are back for another. I mean, I don't know why I'm here. I feel like I'm just a neutral moderator right now. What's this? The fourth week of doing it. Hope you guys are doing well.
Wolfie, this is it from you. You're getting kicked out after this one. This is your last one.
I should never have been here in the first place. I've never been in the relegation battle. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome. We got the boys back together. We got Ben and Sim over on We Are Tottenham TV. Oh, smiles this week.
Come on.
And we got Nicky. He pre-booked our holiday, assuming he'd be on the beach by now. He is quite literally on the beach, but West Ham didn't join him there. You good, Nicky?
I've been better. I'll be honest.
You look like you've been worse, to be fair, Nicky.
I've been in worse situations. I've supported better times. That's what I would say that.
And I've been on the beach pretty much all season. I mean, all I care about is Thursday. But make sure you've liked, make sure you subscribe to each of the channels. You got We Are Tottenham TV, West Ham Fan TV, and of course Forest Fan TV. The links are all in the description. Right, last week we kicked it off with Nicky. I wanna flip it over to the controversial match because I will be a objective host today, boys.
Likely.
There is no such thing as Wolfie being objective. There is no such thing.
Do you want to start with the controversy or should we start with the game? I'll let you guys go. We'll do the Tottenham bit first.
Let's say it's an abomination. It's an abomination. How can they bring the league into such disrepute with playing a few weakened players? Wolfie?
Was there a little hint of sarcasm in that?
Say Nottingham Forest played a much weaker team than what Aston Villa did. Crystal Palace also rested players this week for their Conference League game. Nobody said a word to them. Why is it all about Tottenham and Aston Villa?
But we're not really talking about rotation here, are we? We're talking application. We're talking about desire. We're talking about fans that spent probably 70 quid a ticket plus travel who went to see their team. You may have found that sometimes maybe that's a Villa fan's first experience.
Crystal Palace lost 3-0 and in a very abject performance.
Yeah, but no one cares about Crystal Palace.
Well, there you go. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to because it was against Tottenham. That's what it was.
So look, are you guys going to be objective about it or not? Because let's just say Villa were playing West Ham and they did that. Would you guys be upset about it?
No, nobody said about Tottenham after we were losing game after game and played a weakened team in our Europa League run last season. No one mentioned that.
Yeah, but we couldn't mention it because you were shit all year, bro. Like,
that's fair.
Wolfie, I was upset when Palace rested half their team against West Ham after going on a bender out in Florence.
I think that's a fair argument.
I was upset, but what happened? West Ham didn't win.
I think that's a fairer argument. I think that's a fairer argument.
I didn't think Palace were that good that day against West Ham. I don't think they turned up particularly. Yeah, West Ham didn't win. So at the end of the day, fans can complain, whine, and cry. But at the end, we got the job done. That's all that matters.
That's fair. Before I bring Nicky in, one last question on it. How much did you pay Emery?
You know what? There was a lot of Villa fans saying we want us to lose, so it puts the pressure on Forest and they play a stronger team. It didn't exactly work out that way anyway, but that backfired massively. But yeah, Unai Emery was doing us a solid. He was doing us a solid. Big up to him.
Nicky, how do you see it, mate? I've spoken to Lawless about it. He's spitting feathers, and I think rightly so. But I think Sim makes the better point than Ben does about the whole when you played Palace thing, and they were literally drunk, weren't they, in that game?
I'm going to tell you exactly where I sit on it. I don't blame Aston Villa. Aston Villa have got to do what Aston Villa have got to do. West Ham have got to do what West Ham have got to do. Tottenham have got to do what Tottenham have got to do. Crystal Palace have got to do what Crystal Palace have got to do. The fact of the matter is this, is that you play the teams at the time you play the teams. And if they're looking forward to their semi-final, listen, it upset me. It upset me as a person. But as a football fan, I don't think you can sit there and say, Aston Villa. If you need people to do you favours, you're not doing your job yourself. And that's what I've always seen it as. Like, we've all been in these situations. We've all faced teams when they face weaker teams. It doesn't matter. That is the roll of the dice that Tottenham got, and that is fair, you know. What I'm more interested in is the lack of application that some of our players got after 2-0. I'm more interested in the lack of, the VAR nonsense that went on in our game. But Tottenham are quite within their rights to go and take advantage of that. That's the luck of the draw, I'm afraid. I'm not going to sit here and start blaming Aston Villa for messing up our relegation battle, because it's not Aston Villa's relegation battle. Aston Villa have pretty much secured their place in the Champions League. That's not my concern, and that's not Tottenham's concern. If they face Leeds and they're under strength because now they've secured safety, that's good luck to Tottenham. I'm never going to sit there and blame Aston Villa. I was hoping and praying that Aston Villa wouldn't do that, but at the end of the day, that's football. That is football. But what I will say, I'm going to say this now, right? I was completely wrong. I felt robbed at the community stadium. But there's still 9 points to play for. I'm not having none of this bollocks that it's all over, it's finished. It's
far from over, mate.
It's far from over. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they've got the win this week. We got the win last week. It is what it is. We just have to keep on going. Like, I'm sick to the back teeth of people blaming Aston Villa or saying that's it. We've got to get 9 points. It ain't over yet. So good luck to Tottenham. They took advantage of a situation that they found themselves in, and that's the game.
Yeah, I knew we should have got Lawless. Definitely, I think it's not over, but advantage Tottenham right now.
Absolutely.
Well, you two were celebrating like you were safe yesterday, and now you're doing this humble thing.
No, I was celebrating like we got back-to-back wins for the first time since the first 2 game weeks of the season, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a little bit. Listen, I'm going to get it all the time because I've got it from Leeds fans this morning, but all of a sudden Tottenham fans are starting to creep back into our messages, into our Twitter feed. But that is what it is,
This is what football rivalry is about, Nicky.
That's what football rivalry is about. Exactly that. And I'm not going to sit here and turn around and go, "Oh, look at them," because, mate, they've just won 2 fucking games on the spin, and they haven't won a game in 2026. People have written them off. That's it. I can see the fans singing Tottenham ain't going anywhere. We'll see at the end of the season. Listen, if that's what it comes down to, that's what it comes down to. We haven't done our job. But the fact of the matter is this: it is not over. It is not over until it's fucking over. And I will not have West Ham fans sitting there being, negative and saying, it's all done, it's all finished. We'll see what happens. There's still 9 points to play for. This goes in. I said this before: swings and roundabouts. Swings and roundabouts. You'll get points where you don't expect to get points. You'll drop points where you don't expect to drop them. We'll see. There's still 9 points to play for. I'm not going to say it's over till it's over.
Do you still think it goes for the last game of the season, Nicky?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I was just going to say, Nicky, if you'd finished that with, "I'd love it if we beat him," short of a perm, man, I would have thought that was Kevin Keegan sitting there.
Listen, Wolfie, at the end of the day, the amount of people I've seen crying over it, even our fans, especially, crying over it. That is the hand that they're dealt. As I said before, we are owed no favours by anyone. We have to do ourselves favours. And the fact of the matter is this: we was in control. Listen, they sat here last week, the 2 boys there, complaining about decisions in our game. Go back and have a look at the fucking decisions in that game, mate. There were some fucking horrendous decisions in that game. But that's swings and roundabouts. I'm not going to moan about it. I'm not going to complain about it. The fact of the matter is this: we didn't do our job. Done.
Yeah, and I think, Wolfie, I think what you're leaving out from the conversation, apart from the Villa resting players and everything, is Tottenham did play very well. Villa didn't have a single touch in our penalty box for the first hour of the game, and they still, as much as they rested players, they still had a lot of good players out there. They had the likes of Martinez, Rogers, Tielemans. They had Matt Cash there, the right back. So they had some good players there. They had a lot of good players on the pitch at the time. It wasn't like they were playing a bunch of kids. They played a very similar team a few weeks ago in Sunderland and won that game. So it's not like it was just a given that we were going to go and win the game just because they rested a few players. They had a strong squad for a reason. We had to play well. And we absolutely dominated. I think that's what you're missing from the conversation, Wolfie, is that we played well for the first time in a long time. We went to Villa Park and played them off the park. We dominated with possession. We attacked with a purpose. We actually, for the first time, it seemed as though we had an in-possession game plan and some sort of organisation and like off the ball as well. And we were 2-0, 2-1 flattered Villa. I think anyone who watched the game could agree with that. I think we were completely dominant, and maybe there are signs of De Zerbi really turning things around at Tottenham. That's what you may be missing from the dialogue about the Villa game.
Like I said, I'm being objective, bro, and I hear what you're saying, but I think us 4 could play well against 11 mannequins. It wasn't that difficult to do against
They were
Villa.
poor. They were poor.
They were very poor, but Spurs have lost to very poor teams this season as well. You know what I mean? We've been shocking all season. This was our best performance by far.
Okay, so you got your 3 points, you got your 2 goals. You're still, and I think, look, to add context to it, I would add, as much as I hate to, you can cry about your injuries still, because you didn't go there with your strongest 11 either.
Exactly. They probably had more first teamers starting than we did.
Yeah, but this is why I think it's about application. Like, look what we did. We played a rotated team, made 8 changes, and within a minute, we were already beaten.
What did you think of that, Wolfie, before kickoff? Like, you're 2 points above the drop, and you've played 11 changes or something crazy like that.
I wouldn't have rotated as much. For me, I don't really care about. It wasn't about winning for me yesterday. It was about not losing to keep the momentum going into Thursday. I think momentum's more important than fresh legs right now. I think if players they need to stop pandering players too much, talking about rotation, they're not fit, they're in the red zone. I'm sorry, you're in the final month of the season, the business end of the season. We're meant to be playing in for a European Cup here. If you haven't got the energy in your legs, then you're not in the right job. So I wouldn't have made as many rotations. I said before the game, Pereira will live or die by his decision, and he lived by it. It worked out. Otherwise, he would have been. I would have been calling him out, just like the way I've called out Emery for it.
I think you played a team that rolled over probably more than the team that we played.
They were rubbish. They were atrocious, and that was their strongest team, barring Reece James and Hato. Everyone's telling me is their best player this season. So, but it just in a way it worked out better for us, because I think we've kind of gone, wow, we suddenly got squad depth now. We're going away to a so-called Big Six team, beating them with our B team, and we've rotated, and now we're looking fresh for Thursday. So I think Forest is just peaking at the right time, top of the form table. 4 or 5 wins in a row.
So every shot is going in for Forest.
Mental.
It's like every single shot.
Yeah, I've looked at your stats. Every single shot on target is going in at the moment.
You don't shoot, you don't score, boys. What can I say? You know, it's how football works. But I think, look, you know, banter aside and everything, I actually think we're now safe. If West Ham were to lose to Arsenal, we'll come on to those games in a bit. But what I'm saying here is West Ham have no trapdoor to open against Forest now. If you lose, you can't catch us, because the goal difference is way too. I don't think you can close that down. So I honestly think it is down to one of you two, or one of you three, should I say?
Well, Wolfie, in terms of what you saw from the game against Tottenham, you'll say you'll be objective, but do you not think you can learn anything because Villa were just that bad, or do you not think there are signs of deserve?
If we're being serious about it, I think the thing I would take away if I was a Spurs fan was there was a little belief, there was a little style and pattern of plays. But those are things that I think you've been missing. Most of the games I've seen as Spurs, especially under, say, Thomas Frank, or even under Tudor, they were just a lot of sideways, backwards, hold possession, move it slow. There was nothing. Under Tudor, players for me were being played in wrong positions completely.
We played with a purpose. That was the main thing.
Exactly. And it felt like, I think, and I've said to you guys when you hired him, I think De Zerbi is a really good manager. I think what he's done in how he's come in is I think he's almost said to your players, we're not in a relegation battle. We're in the Premier League, and we're just going to play how I play. And by playing how I play, it will transpire on the pitch into results. So don't play the situation, play my kind of style. That's kind of how it feels like. You know, and he's saying the right things. I think you guys will probably appreciate it more than I do. But in his pressers, you're not getting those cringe things you had with And. You're not getting those weird things with Thomas Frank saying he's 100% he's going to lose matches. You got a guy who's just putting his neck on the line saying we're going to win 5 in a row. And that has to instill confidence into the fan base and into your players. So I think it's a good appointment. I just don't know if it was too late. I would say this.
It is breeding confidence on and off the pitch. You're seeing what our fans are like in the stands, supporting the team all the way to the end. And the players are gaining confidence every game, it seems.
Yeah, I'd say this, and I don't want to say it, but I think if you'd gone for De Zerbi instead of Tudor, and you'd given him those extra whatever games it was, 7-8 games, we wouldn't be doing this show. We wouldn't be doing this show. You guys, he would have steadied the ship a lot better than that. But you know, you are where you are. You know, I agree with Nicky. You're not out of it. Like I think Nicky this weekend. I know it's Arsenal, but you do have a knack. And Potts has been telling me all week, he's saying this is a triple threat for for West Ham. You could relegate Spurs, you could stop Arsenal winning the league, and you could stay up. It's almost, I don't like to bring games to liken them to trophies and cup finals, but it is a cup final, this one, because there's a lot you can get out of this, mate.
It's one of them ones where it's do or die. And we've been saying this for weeks and weeks and weeks, you know, but we find ourselves in a situation. It's sort of like, in the last few weeks, we found ourselves in a situation where we could climb clear. You know, we was looking at the Wolves result, and you know, at 0-0, you know, at the 80th minute, we're thinking we get a goal here. We hold on to we hold on to this lead here. You know, it's pretty much fucking done. You know what I mean? It's 5 points, and I don't think they're clawing 5 points back. And then you look at the situation at the weekend. We played first, and listen, there are situations in the game. I'm sure we'll go through the game in a second, but at 2-0, it looked like the players sort of like thought, "Fucking hell, like, you know, let's just get this one over and done with. Tottenham are going to lose at Villa. We'll just move on to the next one." And it doesn't transpire like that. That's not a relegation battle, which is it pissed me off, to be quite honest with you, watching that the collapse in the second half. You know, especially after we should have fucking battered them in the first half. We hit the post twice. We had that fucking goal disallowed. We had 2 penalty shouts denied. The first goal shouldn't have been shouldn't have stood after the fucking. But it is what it is. You find yourself in that situation. That doesn't mean you can give up. That means you have to keep on going. We've already shown. But the thing what Brentford do very well, there was even fucking disputes about their penalty. Was it a penalty
really?
Because he got to the ball. He touched the ball before he took the man. So, you know, but what you can't do in a relegation battle at 2-0, turn around and go, right, let's scrap this one off. No, you got to fight to the very end. And I was disgusted that what I saw at the very end is the fact that, again, you know, subs too little, too late, pragmatic play. It just seems like we ripped that one off and hoped and prayed that Aston Villa would beat Tottenham and would be in the same situation. That's not what it is now. And we go into Arsenal now. And this is the thing. You saw that game last night with Everton. You've got a very good Everton team coming to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at the end of the season. They are no mugs, mate. And we beat them last week. You've got Leeds coming. They're going to have the bit between their teeth at the minute, because even though probably they're still not mathematically safe. So they're going to need to get that. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of teams turn up to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium a lot better than fucking what Aston Villa turn up. Listen, I'll write Chelsea off right now. I'll write that game off right now.
I think if you lose to Arsenal, I think Leeds are mathematically safe.
They are, but it doesn't mean they're going to come over.
Leeds won't roll over. Leeds won't do it.
No, I agree. I don't think they'll roll over. I think Chelsea is looking at our most attractive game right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that is atrocious what's going on now, to be quite honest with you. But I'm just saying, you know, there is still teams to come. The game what we saw last night against Everton and City have dropped points now. Arsenal, it is in their hands. You know what Arsenal can't handle? Pressure. Pressure. They fucking well under pressure. But we've got to put that fucking pressure on. We've shown it. We can do it. We've shown it over the years we can do it. But we've got to fucking do it. And if we don't do it, we deserve to go down.
But can I ask you a question?
Sorry,
Sim. Just let me just ask this quick question. The thing that surprised me the most about that Brentford game, I actually thought you played quite well, Nicky, and I do agree. I don't think the first goal should have stood. My issue is, and I know this from having Nuno, and maybe the boys do as well from their very short time with him, he doesn't go for the jugular.
No.
At all. Like, if Forest ever went 1-0 up last season, would bring on Morato, go back 3, lock it up, and what have you. And it's the same when he goes behind. Like, if there was many games with Forest that I watched last season, when Forest went 1-0 behind, I'd be thinking to myself, if I just, stepped into the stadium or just tuned into this match and someone asked me what the score was, I think the two teams were drawing because there's no urgency. What I don't understand is your goal difference. You're not catching Forest or Spurs. So go and lose that game 5-6, 7-0. It doesn't matter. Why? Where was the urgency at 2-0? And I do blame Nuno for that kind of mindset when you were 2-0 down.
I think he's banking on points keeping you up, and at this point of the season, I don't think he fully understands the fucking concept of it. Points ain't going to keep you up. You know, you've got to get wins. You know, go for it. I watched Pereira's Forest last night. They went from the jugular from fucking minute 1 straight at them. They saw the weaknesses. They went for it. You know, Traore. You know, he'd been playing really well before. We haven't seen him in about 2-3 weeks. We went to Palace the other night. Palace, as you say, they was pretty much on the fucking beach. They wasn't threatening anyone. But we went there to keep it tight. We don't.
Your mic's gone a little, Nicky. Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, mate. Scared to lose the game. Scared to lose the game. And at this point in the season, it doesn't matter if you lose 1-0, 10-0. The goal difference isn't being made up. Just go out there and fucking go for it. You win it, you win it. You lose it, you lose it. It is the fucking same result at the end of the day. But what I would say about this is the refereeing in that game of ours was fucking atrocious. Atrocious. It was absolutely
what
shocking.
decisions are you so unhappy about? What decisions?
Well, there's one about where Suchek got pulled down in the box, which the PGMOL are now going to use as a referee training tool about the missing decisions. The one where he slipped and took out Pablo, and he turned around and said he slipped. The penalty, which wasn't a fucking penalty because he got the ball. The first goal, where the geezer should have got a red card.
Red card?
Well, look at it. I'll show you it afterwards.
Yeah.
It went fucking studs up into his fire.
It was a 50-50. Like they were
50-50
both going to the ball. What do you mean? They were.
He was about 2 seconds too late. 2 seconds too late. But listen, I'm not going to sit here.
As a wise man once told me, once you're down at the bottom, you know,
nothing
you don't get these decisions.
Exactly. that is the thing. When I look at that game, we can sit here and blame that all you know, them decisions all day long.
What, you think you deserve something out of that game, do you think, potentially?
Nah, not in the end. But I think we was a lot better. It could have been 4-4 that game.
Yeah.
I think Brentford did miss a lot of good chances in the first half as well. It was an end-to-end game.
That one where the goalkeeper come out, fucking hell, I thought someone had a control pad and was holding down trying.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, why is he running towards him? Everyone knows if a goalkeeper in that situation, you run back towards your goal. And he's like, kept going. I was like, what are you doing? And now he's left the goal open. It was crazy. Like, he missed an open goal. I think Lewis Potter missed a header at the back post, which Hermansen saved. Thiago had a one-on-one as well, which he didn't quite catch. So, yeah, you did have chances. You hit the post twice, but Brentford as well did have their chances.
Post twice and the bar.
And the bar, Somerville.
Yeah, Somerville, wasn't it?
But you have to say, the one thing that really, if I was a West Ham fan, would have really troubled me about that game was the third goal. Because if you watch that third goal for Brentford,
gave up.
Everyone is walking for West Ham.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, for Brentford, everyone was just walking. The guy switched to the right. He's got all the time to bring it down, just walk a few steps and cross all the way to the left. Then who was it? Lewis Potter picks up. He's walking. He just walks, passes it off to Damsgaard. He's walking in the box and just calmly slots it home. Everyone's just walking and no one's getting near him.
I call it poor me syndrome because that's what it looked like. They missed all them chances. They had the goal ruled out. They felt they should have had a couple of penalties. By the time they saw the foot, it was like, poor me. We're never going to get anything out of this game. In a relegation battle, mate, you cannot fucking do that. I want to see fight. Fight. That's what you need. Fight to the very end. Look at Man City last night. That was down and out. 85th minute, 3-1 down, title gone. They fought. They might not secure the title, but they've given themselves a fucking opportunity. And that is, I cannot, I've always said this. I can forgive lack of talent. I can't forgive lack of effort. You know what I mean? I can forgive, missed chances. I cannot forgive people fucking sitting there watching people fucking slot in and bury you. I can't forgive it. I want to see. Bowen is a fucking disgrace, to be quite honest with you. The way he's fucking conducted himself over the last couple of fucking months is fucking disgraceful as a captain. He gives all the effort. But in terms of quality, he should be asking if he can be dropped out that fucking side, to be quite honest with you, because Traore would be more effective.
Yeah, I'm looking at Somerville, and he looks like your only threat. He always looks like something's going to happen when he gets on the ball, Somerville. Then I look at Bowen, and there's just nothing there.
We need to be playing Wilson. Wilson gives you a goal threat. Somerville's offering all the threat. The other two can't fucking hit a barn door with a banjo. They can't.
Yeah, that Pablo guy, bro. Like, I know a lot of you are saying, the formation change that Nuno did, bringing these two in January and whatever. He just doesn't look like he can score. I don't know why. I've even heard West Ham fans calling him a very good defensive forward. And I'm like,
we don't need defensive forwards. We need fucking goals.
Yeah. So should he be playing?
Probably not. listen, it's one of them ones. It's 6 or 1, half a dozen the other, because at the end of the day, them two have transformed our form. They have. You know what I mean? You cannot deny. Since Lucas Paqueta left and them two came in, we've been a different side. We give a different energy. But at this point in juncture, listen, we had him in when we needed him in, when we needed that work rate, that desire. We got ourselves in front. At that point, we need to be doing what Forest are doing, and that's going for the jugular. And Pablo ain't going to fucking go for the jugular. He's going to defend it. You know, so we need goals. We need wins. You know, we cannot be sitting there picking up draws anymore. You know, and at this point in the season, and this is where we find ourselves again in a different situation this week. Tottenham find themselves in a different situation that they have in the last couple of weeks. Is now they're defending it, and that's where we all fucking, you know, we seem to fall down. Is when you've got the chance to extend it, we all seem to fuck up. So, you know, I'm not, as I said before, I'm not fucking giving up till it's over.
I hear it. Do you guys, on what Nicky just said there, boys? I think he's right. Like, in terms of West Ham were the underdogs, they fought themselves back and suddenly they got themselves out of it. And it's almost like they put themselves under more pressure. Now that you got yourselves out of it, I mean, obviously relative to where we are now, do you see your players, your manager, your kind of mentality as strong enough to keep yourselves out of it?
I think so, because I think De Zerbi's doing such a great job in raising the confidence levels of these players. I think you're already starting to see it in the performances. You're seeing the fans really back the team all the way till the end now. And I'm looking at the next 2 games. With West Ham got Arsenal and Newcastle away, 2 very, very difficult games. We've obviously got a difficult game in Leeds, but then a Chelsea team who just look shot to pieces. So I genuinely believe Spurs are going to pick up more points over the next 2 games than West Ham. And I actually think it could be done before the last game of the season. I really believe that.
Well, I think there's a weight being lifted off the shoulders of the players. You can see after that win against Wolves, we've now picked up 7 in our last 3 games, 7 of our possible 9. If it wasn't for that stupid, you know, deflected goal against Sunderland, we'd be unbeaten under De Zerbi. I think, you know, it wasn't for that last-minute goal against Brighton, it would be 9-9. So I think De Zerbi has definitely started, clearly signs of turning things around. There's clearly the players are fully behind him. You can see that they're really buying into what he's doing, and we're doing it not in a way of just, you know, sitting back and clinging on to results. Maybe Wolves was a bit of that, but you can see that they're playing bravely on the ball. They're playing front-footed football. They're taking the game to opposition, and he's got to give them their confidence back. I think you can definitely see that on the pitch now. I definitely think you're right, Wolfie. There'll be tougher tests to come. Wolves away, and who we just played Villa away. They're, you know, the Villa who we played. Fortunate for us, we're not like the toughest test, and Leeds will probably be a tougher test. But I think that these players are good enough to not be in a relegation scrap. We know that. We know that a lot of these players should be in the teams challenging for Europe or mid-table, whatever, a lot better than where they are right now. So I think given that we've got those few wins, De Zerbi's been drumming into these players, just get that win. All you need to get the win, and the rest will sort itself out. We'll be on a high. We'll get some momentum. I think we've got that now. I'm not sure that, you know, we're going to win all the next 3 games, but I think we're going to see a lot better Tottenham, I think, from now, from what we've seen before De Zerbi came in. I'm hoping that Tottenham, it's a thing of the past, and we're going to see a different Tottenham now, and a Tottenham that more akin to what we've seen before. I think we've seen that these players can perform at other clubs and at other levels, and I think now that I think the pressure of being in this relegation battle and suffering defeat after defeat was weighing so heavy on these players that they were not performing anywhere near to their potential. And I think now that weight has been lifted a bit, I'm thinking we're going to see a different Tottenham now with the new motivation. And I think, you know, if we get 1 win in the next 2 games, if we beat either Leeds or Chelsea, I think it's going to be very difficult for West Ham to get any points out of Arsenal and Newcastle.
Can I just interject here, right? And I'm in no position to sit here fucking firing shots and all that, but they call it Spursy for a reason. We'll just leave it there.
Well, we're not the ones who've been relegated in the Premier League.
Exactly, we've never been relegated before.
But he does raise an interesting point, because looking at your next 3 fixtures, you know, you don't perform well at any of those grounds where you've got the game.
Well, because the home ground, so any home game.
Stamford Bridge, traditionally, what you haven't won there since 2018, and do we really need to go into your record at home? Like, does that worry you?
But Wolfie, we've just lost the last 6 games to Villa before this weekend. So
you didn't play Villa this weekend, then. I'm not.
Wolves as well. Wolves as well. We've got a horrible record against. We haven't beaten them in a very long time.
Yeah.
So football doesn't always work out like that. And if we're ever going to beat Chelsea, this is our best ever opportunity to do so with the state that they're in.
I agree with him. Fuck, I wish we was playing them.
No, I think the point is, if you look at how we played against Villa, would you back against us to not win either of the two games against Leeds or Chelsea? Maybe not. I think maybe we can win one of those games.
Do you know what? I saw fantastic football at Villa. I saw a Villa that was, I think their application was fucking awful.
Yeah, agreed.
And they got one back at the end. And there was a little bit, at the end of it, was a little bit edgy. You know, there was little bits of, it's, I don't know. Listen, it's all speculation at the end of the day. So
the thing is, Nicky, if you need to take to the last day, that means you see either us not winning either of the next two, or you see you getting something out of Arsenal or Newcastle.
I've always said I feel we'll get something against Arsenal.
Okay, so you think maybe a draw, or do you think you could beat them?
I think anything's possible. At the end of the day, this is football. It's played on the pitch, not on paper. I'm not going to commit to that.
I wouldn't be surprised if we're
Give us a score prediction, Nicky. I want to hear the score prediction. Because I think in the last two games that you've played against them at the London Stadium, haven't you conceded like 11 goals?
We have, but we've also conceded that impacted their two last title challenges. And as I said before, Arsenal under pressure are not Arsenal.
Yeah.
So now you're doing the history thing, Ben, when you wanted to bring Villa in and your record and Wolves, that was fine.
I think if you're a West
whatever
Ham
narrative suits, Wolfie, whatever narrative sits.
If you're a West Ham fan, considering how you ended the Brentford game, and then you look at Arsenal, and I think Newcastle, by the way, rejuvenated Newcastle. Now they got Tonali, Bruno, and Joelinton. They've got them back, and they just had a big win against Brighton at St James's. Going St James's is always difficult. So if West Ham do lose those two games, which is not exactly, it's not that unlikely. If they do lose those two, I mean, it could be done before the final day if that happens.
It could be done. It could not be done. We don't know. At the end of the day, we've got to presume that we lose to Arsenal because of the form. We've got to presume that Leeds, can get something at White Hart Lane. We have to presume that we lose and you win. But that means it's down to 4 and there's still 6 points to play for. Traditionally at Stamford Bridge, don't do well. Everton are a fucking good side. So, it's all to play for, boys.
And you got Leeds last game as well,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think West Ham have got 3 incredibly difficult games.
We've got difficult games, but this is, as I said before, football's played on pitch, not on paper. Yeah. So listen,
if we
go down, we've been shite. We've missed opportunities. We deserve to go down. And I'll never sit there and turn around and say, and you look at the beginning of the season, I said, there is a great possibility we'll go down. I was resigned to this in December. Yeah. Resigned to it. I did not think we would get anywhere near it. So the fact that we're near it now, I've got to still believe. If I don't believe now, when the fuck do I believe? Because December, we was dead.
Does that make it worse, Nicky? That you got this second wind, the second lease of life? And you got the hope.
No, because there's hope. I wouldn't like to be Wolves and relegated with 10 games to go and fucking have to play 10 games with everyone chanting about how much you're going down and all that. We've given ourselves hope. I'm proud of the boys for doing that because we was dead and buried. We was gone. But there's still work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done on both sides, us and Tottenham, because they have dragged themselves into it. That nobody else has dragged them into it. They've dragged themselves into it.
100%.
So if they can still carry on, good luck to them. And they stay up and we go down. We probably deserve to go down. But the way they've been playing over the past 6 months or so, it's anyone's game at the moment. We never know what's going to happen. Listen, I think you're clear. I think you're done. So
yeah, Forest are completely safe and Lee obviously. I want to know from Wolfie who do you think is going to go down out of us two?
I don't know. I honestly now, kind of no joking aside, I have no clue. And I'll tell you what Nicky just said there is so bang on the money, because I remember the first season we came back with a couple of games to go, we were still in the relegation zone. We'd just lost to Leeds. There was talks about should we sack Cooper or not and what have you. And our running, I think we had Arsenal second last game and then Crystal Palace away with 2 games to go. you're looking at it thinking, and that was the year Arsenal were on a title charge, and they pretty much bottled it right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
We
how
went
many years is that, mate? That could be the past 20.
What year would that have been? 4 years ago.
Forest once actually completely mathematically ended, didn't they?
Yeah, we beat Arsenal 1-0 at home. We had I think it was one shot on goal. It was Taiwo Awoniyi scored it. Came off, deflected off defender, off his shin, in it went 1-0. Arsenal just couldn't break us down. I think we had like 18% possession or something silly like that. And it was Arsenal. And it's just weird how Nicky's now got the same scenario with Arsenal as well. There is no reason to look at teams now and think of them, on paper, this team is a good team. Their form is this, the form is the other. You don't know what's going to turn up. You don't know. You just got to control.
You're only saying that because West Ham have more difficult games. That's
I think they have the most difficult fixtures. If you're a betting man right now, I would say I don't think either of you win your next 2 games, and this goes down to the final game. That's how I would see it happening, because I just think Spurs are getting a little too giddy. And I think West Ham are too down in the dumps right now. I don't know. It's an interesting kind of scenario that's playing out. So I don't know is the honest answer. I have no idea.
The reality is it's so tight. It's 1 point in it. There's only 1 point with 3 games left to go. Anything can happen.
Yeah. Imagine this, then. Imagine you lose at home and they beat Arsenal. Just imagine the mentality shift that's going to happen. You're going to find yourself back in the bottom 3. But
then I think that then again, you can't say that because we've been in control. Then we mentality shift and we fuck it up. Like it depends on where we see ourselves this week. Have they got the pressure? Can they handle the pressure of being the ones out of the relegation and it being in their hands? Because our past couple of weeks, we've had opportunities against Crystal Palace, we've had opportunities against Brentford, and we haven't taken them. It's down to the mentality of their guys now. If they got the mentality, now they're out of it. Are they going to relax? Are they going to change their style? Are they going to try and fucking go? Are they going to try and look to wrap it up? In style, we don't know. We just don't know. We have to again. You look at that performance against Brighton with them, and you start to think, oh, fucking hell, maybe they've got something about them. They've conceded that last-minute goal, and then they struggle against Wolves, like fucking really struggle against Wolves. Yeah. So you just don't know where you are. Like we have to just wait. We just have to wait and see.
I think it's different coming up against a team that's going to press high and playing a deep block. We struggled against Sunderland and Wolves. They play a low block and we couldn't break them down. But the 2 teams that actually want to play football and press high up a little bit, we actually created chances against.
But you don't get that against Leeds. Correct, you won't get that against Leeds.
Well, Nicky, if you are to lose,
they're more expansive than Sunderland and Wolves. I'll tell you that.
We're more expansive than Wolves. Bloody hell, man.
We are to lose tomorrow, Sim. Go on.
I'm saying if you are to lose to Arsenal and Spurs do win, would it be done at that point for you?
No, because it's 6 to play for, and it's 4 between us. Until it's done, it's not done. I still believe.
What
the fuck would be the point? I might as well give up in December if I'm not going to believe.
If that happened on the weekend, Wolfie, we beat Leeds and Arsenal beat West Ham, would it be done at that point?
For me, yeah, because they couldn't catch me, mate. Like,
no, for you.
Sorry, you mean between you two?
Yes, between us two, you bastard.
Oh. The thing is, for them to get 4 points, it's not 4, it's 5 points with the goal difference.
Yeah,
like the goal difference becomes crucial. But
4-5, it's a fucking same.
Exactly, that changes the mindset too. They have to win both. They can't draw. It has to go like full guns blazing. Has Nuno got that in his mentality to go guns blazing in 2 games?
He won't have a choice. Surely he won't have a choice.
It's not in his armory. He likes to strategically win a match. He likes to build on a clean sheet, a strong defensive performance. I don't think he's got that in him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think if you get 4 points clear, I'd say you're safe, because I don't think, in my mind, I don't think either of you win your next 2 games, and I think it goes down.
Before anyone judges me too much, I have had quite a few of these today. So
that's where the belief is coming
from. So let's have a look at these games, boys. So you've got Leeds. Leeds are safe. I think it's fair to say, or as good as safe.
Pretty much.
I mean, there is a world where they could be dragged in because they're playing both of you, so you could say it's a double 6 pointer and what have you. But realistically, I don't see that happening. They're playing with a bit of freedom now. I don't think you're going to get a on the beach kind of Leeds.
No.
They're looking to push up the table. They've moved ahead of Crystal Palace at the weekend as well. So they're playing with a bit of freedom. And I think sometimes that's a more dangerous animal, a freer animal. But your task. You're at home. You have to beat Leeds. You have to try and put 4 points behind. I think you're playing on Monday, aren't you? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So you will go into that game in similar fashion to Forest, knowing what the others had done before you. Does that play a part in what you think you need to do, or is it still 3 points, whatever's happened to West Ham?
I hope it doesn't play a part because it's in our hands now. So it doesn't really matter what West Ham do. If we keep winning, then we're going to be safe. So I don't think we should take into account what happens at West Ham Arsenal. We just need to stay on our job, have a single focus track on that game and try and get the win no matter what. Like, we just need to beat Leeds. If we beat Leeds, that's one step closer to safety.
I think it's interesting because when we played Burnley, I think both of you guys had played and dropped points, if I remember rightly. Gibbs White afterwards did admit that it played on their mind in that first half. We went a goal down and what have you. So it'd be interesting to see the mentality of your squad and obviously Nicky's team when it comes up. I just think Leeds are just one of those annoying teams that seem to get a result when you think you've broken them and what have you.
They lost to this Chelsea team in the semi-final a few weeks ago and, didn't score a goal against them. So it's not like they're this unbeatable team. They're down where they are for a reason. So it's definitely a winnable game.
But they are very high in the form table. I
called them shite on a video earlier and I said they've been shite. And I've got some fucking abuse today from Leeds.
I'm not surprised, mate. They are second in the form table in the Premier League.
No, they're playing very well.
Wolfie, the fact that they're in a relegation battle, regardless of whether they want to be in the form table or not, means they've been fucking shite. Simple as that.
Nicky, you need to back me on this point, Nicky. You need me. But look, I'm looking at their recent results. They're undefeated in their last 5. They've won 3 out of those 5. The last time, obviously, they played Burnley, which is a free win, in it at home. They beat them 3-1. But they are second only behind the best team in the league and Forest in the form table with 11 points, scored 10, conceded 4. They're in good nick. This isn't going to be an easy game.
Definitely not going to be an easy game.
But I don't think either game is an easy game. We've got them as well.
But look, Brighton came to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on the best form in the Premier League as well and didn't take away a win, and we were a few minutes away from taking 3 points. So it's not a game that we can't win. We've been a lot more solid and resolute since De Zerbi has come in. We can attack better. So there's no reason not to go into it with confidence, in my opinion, on the back of 2 wins on the trot as well.
Do you think you win this one, Ben?
Yeah, I do. I think I'm going to go 2-1 to Spurs. I think it's going to be a tight game. Don't get me wrong. Leeds will come and try to break us down, and I think they will at some stage in the game. But I think we'll, just at home with the fans behind us, with how it's been over the last couple of weeks, with the confidence of the last 2 games, I think we're just going to nick it 2-1.
What are you saying, Sim? You agree?
Yeah, I think we are going to win. I do think we're going to win. I think, to be honest, if West Ham do win, and if we have that pressure to win, I think that anxiety will. I think the fact that West Ham lost and we saw that opportunity to grab Villa Park. I think you saw that motivation, that confidence was there. If West Ham do win, I think that could affect us negatively. But if West Ham drop points and we're going into this game still out the relegation zone, knowing that a win could take us clear, I think we do it. I think the confidence is there from the last 2 wins. I think De Zerbi is more confident than anyone that we're going to get out of the situation. I think the players are fully bought into him. And I think he's already broken first win of 2026. And I think he's going to break the first home win of 2026 as well.
I'm just going to say, I think you lose this.
Lose?
I think you lose it by 2. I don't know.
2-0. Yeah. 2-0 you're going for?
You know what?
2-0, 3-1, something like that.
I know, yeah.
I just got a feeling about this one. I just got a feeling about this one.
The thing is with Leeds, they always blow teams away.
He didn't predict us to beat Villa, though, did he?
No, you're right. He said draw, though. He said he had got
but I didn't think you were playing mannequins. There's a big difference in my prediction. How are you seeing this one, Nicky? Do you see your game impacting them at all?
Yeah, it definitely will impact them. I think they'll see what happens at our place and they'll either feel the pressure or they'll be free of the pressure. So I'm going to go for a draw. I'll go for a draw.
Okay.
2-2.
Which brings us on to this top of the table, bottom of the table, big game. This
I'm gonna hate every minute of this game.
Oh, this game is going to be hell. It's going to absolutely.
I'm looking forward to
I think
this.
if Arsenal win this, that's as good as winning the league.
Yeah,
I mean,
think so.
You've got Ben and Sim who are Arsenal fans this weekend. They'll admit to that.
I don't want Arsenal to win. I just want West Ham to lose.
For West Ham to lose, Arsenal have to win, mate.
I'll never say I want Arsenal to win. Never.
But Nicky, how are you feeling about it? Because you have some history. They are right in what they said, that you have conceded like 11 goals in their last 2 visits.
No,
there.
yeah, absolutely. They're dangerous. They're a dangerous side.
Mm.
Dangerous, very dangerous side. But they can feel the pressure. You know, they're not invincible. You know, we've seen them go to Wolves and struggle. We've seen them struggle at home to Wolves.
Yeah.
So they're not invincible. It depends on what fucking Arsenal turn up, to be quite honest. Listen, this could be a 6-0 game, or it could be a fucking 1-0 to West Ham game. It could be either one of them. It all depends on the pressure. The fact that I've had people in my DMs telling me how much they're going to blow us away. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, thank you. The fact that gives me a little bit of hope, that I think to myself, like, you know, they're good at talking before it's fucking done. You know, and they see that last night, and I've seen the messages flying about in group chats last night when Man City drew. Can they fucking handle the pressure? Because when the pressure comes on Arsenal, that's when they seem to fucking collapse. But I'm going to say we lose. Unfortunately, I'm going to say we lose this one, and I think it's down to 3, and it's down to the last 2.
Mate, you built it up, and then he says lose. I popped the balloon. I was like,
no, I've got to be realistic. I've got to be realistic. Listen, if we get anything, it's a bonus, and I'll be over the fucking moon. But I've got to say we lose. I've got to. I'd be fucking stupid if I didn't.
I agree with you. The only thing is, I think the Man City result they almost would have been better off Man City winning in a weird way. Do you know what I mean? It was like, it focuses the mind. Everyone's just going win for win, goal difference and what have you. I know it sounds weird to say. I think that adds a little pressure on. But I look at the way they played against Fulham. You could say that was Arsenal just playing with a bit of freedom, knowing that this was the second game without reply from Man City. But they looked good. They looked a lot better.
The way the fixtures have fucking fell for them is fucking unbelievable, really.
Yeah, they don't leave London. Yeah. So I think you lose this one. I don't think it's a slapping. I think it's like a 1-0, 2-1 kind of scenario. How are you boys seeing it?
Yeah, I think West Ham need the opening goal in this one. If Arsenal take the lead, there's no chance West Ham are getting back in this game. I think they need to have. This needs to go in Nuno's favour. It needs to be a game he can kind of manage in his image. And I don't think if Arsenal take the lead, that can happen. I do think there's a chance that West Ham could nick something here. I really do. But just judging by the way they play, I think it kind of suits playing this Arsenal team. But I just can't look past Arsenal winning. I think maybe tonight, obviously they're playing tonight against Atletico. You know, that could have a bit of a bearing on it, how much this tonight takes out of it. Maybe if they lose tonight, that, you know, that loss of confidence could be taken into the West Ham game.
They did it before, didn't it? They did it before in the cup. Yeah,
so I reckon we'll have to see what happens tonight, but I do think Arsenal are going to scrape it 2-1. I think it'll be a tight game. I think West Ham are fighting for their lives, so I don't think it'll be a battering. I think it will be I think West Ham know the importance of this game, but I think Arsenal, with that opportunity obviously you're giving them, I don't think they're going to give it up. So I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
Let me ask you this before Ben comes in. If you know that this game is the game that wins Arsenal the league, do you still want them to win this match?
No comment.
You can't ask him that, man.
I can ask him that because by asking him that, I'm also asking him, do you have faith in your team who just need to stay ahead of West Ham to do their job? Therefore, you're confident enough in your team.
I think a draw suits everyone.
I wouldn't be unhappy with a draw.
Okay.
The thing is, though, with the draw, I think Arsenal can draw this game and still win the league. And I think even if they draw this game, they will still win the league, in my opinion. I don't think Man City are going to win every single game from now to the end of the season still. They've still got some difficult games to come, Man City. So, look, I actually think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be 1-1 or 0-0. I think West Ham, apart from against Brentford, where you opened up a little bit, I felt like you've been very resolute over the last month. I think it's going to be difficult for Arsenal to break you down. And you know, I think West Ham can nick one off a set piece. You know, Mavropanos has been so dangerous.
Dinos, mate, ex-Arsenal player.
Yeah,
it's written in the stars.
He's been so dangerous over the past week, and you know, he had that goal just about ruled off for offside and what have you. And I definitely think West Ham can cause Arsenal a bit of damage.
There's one place I think West Ham could cause damage is Somerville, because Ben White has not. He's been one player I don't think he's been playing very well for Arsenal, and I think Somerville could really get at him.
Yeah, I agree.
That's one thing.
Fingers crossed for me. I know it's not fingers crossed for you guys, but yeah. How's Forest going to get on, Wolfie?
Well, I was going to say, let's move on to the most important game of the week.
Who do Forest have?
I don't even know. They're playing Newcastle, is it?
Aston Villa first.
Oh, yeah, first.
Oh, Villa.
Thursday, yeah.
How are you guys seeing that one?
Is Gibbs White going to play?
Yeah.
He does, yeah.
I think he will, but will be like Osman style of a mask.
So is Murillo injured or not? Is he just sitting out just for jokes?
Murillo's in Qatar.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna best of luck to you. Best of luck to you. I've been to a European final. They've been to a European final, and we both know what it's like to go to a fucking European final. It's fantastic.
I've got a feeling Forest get the job done on Thursday.
Yeah. So do I. I'm rooting for you because you know, for the three of us here to be sitting in relegation talk and actually could be fucking 3 European winners 3 years in a row is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah. Good luck to you.
I think Forest are coming into it with the momentum. Villa got no momentum right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's a big thing, massive.
And we need to do it for the good of the country, to bring integrity back to this country in terms of how to rotate a squad, not taking alleged bribes and so on and so forth. So
how to make 11 changes and still win a football match.
Exactly. But in the Premier League, we've got so you're going Forest. Who did you two boys say?
I'm going to go Forest.
I think Forest. Yeah, I think Forest are going to do it.
I'm going to go 1-0 Forest.
I think it's going to be a draw and Forest make it to the final.
I think it's going to be something like 2-2 or something.
Oh, so Forest in the Super Cup then, huh?
Yeah.
Now
Forest Arsenal Super Cup. That's got to be Spurs' nightmare.
They're going to lose the final.
Really? Okay, we'll see. In the league, though, we got Newcastle, who finally got a win.
Is it at Forest? Yeah.
At Forest, yeah.
Yeah.
I think again a lot will depend what's happened with the Villa game. I mean, I still think though we've got something for Newcastle. I don't think they're in the greatest form. I know you boys said they got a couple of players back, but Newcastle mathematically, I don't know if you boys seen the stat, they could still get relegated and they still could get Champions League mathematically.
That's mad. With 3 games to go.
Crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So I don't know.
That's like Dream Team stuff. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Carl Fletcher.
So I think we've got a good chance. It's at home. We've shown we've got a squad that Pereira trusts. And I just think we want to keep that momentum going, assuming obviously we get past Villa. And on top of that, if we beat Newcastle, we actually move ahead of them in the league table. So there's a bit riding on it, just a bit of pride of getting ourselves back into a position that isn't so shameful, man. So I think we beat Newcastle at the weekend. And I think we probably do it like a 2-0, 2-1. I think we're playing really well right now.
We all know you're staying up, but the question is, are you going to finish above Chelsea? You're 6
point gap. 6 point gap.
Good dude.
Well,
it's actually crazy what the gap is between the Premier League, the bottom and the top.
It's ridiculous.
At the moment, it's ridiculously tight.
So if you can still finish above Chelsea, Chelsea could finish as low as 16th.
I know.
Well, mad. Are you going to finish above Chelsea?
Could we? No, we can't. Can we? No, 11 points. No, 11 points. Too many.
No, not quite. I actually think we do finish above Chelsea because they got Liverpool next. Then they got
that means you're going for us to win at Chelsea.
Oh, shit. If they nah, you know what? Let Chelsea finish above us.
Can't even give us that.
Lawless ain't going to be happy with you with your plan to send Spurs down. I'll tell you that.
Hey, mate. We've been plotting for a while. It still could happen. It still could happen. All right, let's finish with this, boys. Who's going down? We've changed our mind so many times this week. Nikki.
West Ham.
You saying West Ham?
You just say West Ham.
How many of you had?
At the moment, I have to.
You just said all believe, we're not giving up. And now
wait, what happened to I'm not having this negativity, our fan base saying this, it's not over till it's over stuff?
You say who's staying up or who's going down? I think we're going to stay up. I thought you said who's staying up. No, we're staying up.
Let the man enjoy his holiday.
I've got banana mama now. Come on.
In the question, he's got me questioning my question there. I did say he's going down.
You said he's going down. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. Sorry, I got something in me. I thought you said who's staying up.
Nah,
we're going to stay up. Spurs going down.
Spurs going down. All right, Fairs.
They're going down.
Spurs are staying up. West Ham are going down for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
Come on, Wolfie.
I think
get off that fence, mate. You're going to get splinters up your ass. Give us a prediction.
Put it this way. If you truly believed West Ham was staying up, you would say so.
Yeah, 100%.
I think you must think Tottenham
100%.
You can say what you want, mate. Listen, it changes every week. We'll come here in a week's time and we'll have another go at it.
Exactly.
Listen, so just commit to it.
I don't want to get my hopes up and
Come on, Wolfie. Give us a prediction, mate.
Spurs go down still.
You don't believe that, though. You don't believe that.
He don't believe it, no, he doesn't.
He said it hesitantly. He says it all.
I believe it. Just, go beat Arsenal. Send Spurs
As
down.
Ted Lasso said, boys, believe.
Exactly, believe.
Yeah. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys for watching. Big up to the panelists as always. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Get your comments in. Who do you think is now going down? And if you do put West Ham, make sure you tell us who you support. I want to know if there's any people who's supporting the team that think their own team's going to go down. So let us know
in the comment section. Do you actually believe Wolfie's prediction? Do you believe he believes?
Bro,
I want to know
my predictions this season, Ben. They've scared the crap out of you. Right?
Yeah, but you got to believe it. You believed all those other predictions.
Yeah, you have to believe it, mate. You have to believe what you got to say.
Exactly. Make sure you subscribe to all the channels. If you're new here, please don't forget to like and do that weird hype thing, whatever it means. And we'll see you on next week to see who's got chest and who hasn't. Have a good weekend.
Go on, your hands.